Hi. I've been seeing a lot of people online talking about how they're being told they're, well, old because they're boomer, Gen X, or older millennial, and how they can't understand what's going on in today's world because of it. As a Gen Xer, I'm going to put a little bit different spin on that. My name's Judy. I'm an expert on nothing, but I'm experienced, opinionated, and I love sharing my opinion. We're going to start with social changes. There have been a lot. I'm not even going to joke about it. And there have been a lot of social changes that have been discarded and forgotten about. I mean, in the early 70s, women couldn't buy their own houses. I mean, that's a change that everybody forgets about. Women were never the boss. Women didn't fight in combat, in the military. There were jobs women still couldn't have in the 1970s. And yeah, that was a long time ago, but it wasn't that long ago. The people who actually fought these battles, the people who fought the battles for gay rights, that some of which are taken for granted now, they're still alive and kicking, folks. And they're being treated like they don't understand how hard it is. And it really kind of sucks. Then there's the whole technology thing. Oh, you didn't have, so you don't know, and you have problems with technology. Is that true? Think of all of the innovation that happened during our lifetimes. Did you know home computers were not really a thing until, well, late 80s? That's not as long ago as people seem to think. And they were big. I know, because I had one. Smartphones. Smartphones didn't really exist until the early 2000s, and Apple didn't make their first iPhone until like 2007. I mean, that is not as far ago as people seem to think. And yeah, there are the memes out there that, why are Gen X so grumpy? Well, because they had to buy their music first on vinyl, then on 8-track, then cassette, then CD, then MP3, and now streaming. Oh yeah, it's kind of grumpy. And then again, I will still play vinyl and cassettes and CDs because I can. But that's how much innovation has been processed in our lifetime. Yes, Gen Xers, older millennials, I think maybe all millennials, get a little nostalgic. But the reason there's nostalgia is because we got a lot of years behind us. And in those years, there was a lot of innovation. Now, has that innovation improved recently? Oh yeah. I mean, the first camera phone, I think, came out in 2003, maybe? 2000? And was 1 megapixel. Could you imagine a 1 megapixel camera? I can, because I lived through it. Thing about us old folks, if that's what you like to call us, is we've had to adapt. We've had to constantly change the way we do things because of innovations in technology, innovations in lifestyle. And it's makes you a little grumpy sometimes when people say, oh, you don't get it because you're old and you grew up with this. Yes, I grew up needing to find a payphone to make a call instead of having it in my pocket. I grew up having my phone attached to the wall. People now don't even have home phones. But I learned to adapt. And what that adaptation has done that people seem to forget is, well, keep your brain actually limbo. With the constant innovation and constantly being required. It's not even a you have a choice. It's required to learn new technology. I mean, face it, if you bought an iPhone 4S and you now have an iPhone 15, there's not a lot of difference. But when that 4S came out, that was a whole new set of technology needed to be learned just to get by, just to be able to function. People toss it aside as you're old, so you don't get it. But I don't think that's the case. I think people just don't understand the amount that the 40-plus-year-olds at current time have been through and how much we've seen change and how much I'm seeing lost as a result of that. I have a friend who was telling me that there are good things and bad things about being trans now and trans when she transitioned in the 1990s. She'll tell you what the pluses are, she'll tell you what the negatives are, because there's both. Learning to move beyond what you've always known, that's a trick that a lot of people aren't having to learn anymore. Will there be another wave of innovation sometime in the near future? Hopefully. I hope there is. That people have this big burst of learning new stuff. But I haven't seen it in the past couple of decades. So, before you rule out us old folks, remember how much we've evolved. And old folks, before you rule yourself out, do the same thing. You've learned things that are never going to have to be learned again. Okay, well, there's my ageist rant. Hit like if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it. Tell me why, either way. And if you come back again, I'll see you then. Bye.